The third law is law of process. Law of process. In the beginning of this law, the author has mentioned a case of Annie Schieber, who was 101 years old when she died in 1995. Now, why this case has been mentioned? Because Annie was a retired employee from US government, and she used to get around $300 to $400 pension, and her room rent was around approximately the same amount. And in her entire career, she doesn't got a lot of promotion. She was kept away from the promotion because of maybe any reason. She was treated very in a shabby manner, and when she retired she got some amount, but she was always concerned about her income, so she never shifted to big house, she never renovated her house or changed her furniture. She was living a very moderate life in a moderate area. She never enjoyed a luxurious life because of limitations, and whatever amount she was earning was simple thing, her $300 to $400 per month as a pension, and interest on her provident fund and gratuity and other kind of thing. That's all was her income. And when she died, she could not afford a newspaper at home. She used to go to public library once in a week to read newspapers and journals and magazines. But when she died, she left a will. She left will that all her property and assets should be given to one university. And when this will was opened, you must have been surprised how much amount she kept for the university. $22 million. $22 million she kept for the university. That was a windfall for the university. $22 million by Annie, who lived a very moderate life. I said she never changed her furniture. She never renovated the house. Living in a moderate area, and she gave around $22 million to one university. What she did, because she was getting a little amount, but she always believed in the law of process. Law of process. How she followed law of process? She continuously invested in a particular company, which was a very good company. And she continued to invest, irrespective whether shares are going up or down, how the market is trending. Irrespective of that, she was continuously investing in a particular company. If she got the dividend, again it was reinvested. Whatever the gratuity amount, provident fund amount she got, it was again reinvested. And as the law of compounding helps her, she could earn as much as $22 million by the end of her life. It's incredible. That's the process. That is the law of process. That money cannot be earned within a day. Shortcuts नहीं होते, जुगाड़ नहीं होता कि पैसा आ जाए आपके पास. You have to take systematic efforts. So that is law of process. Leadership is like investing. It compounds. Leadership is like investing. Leadership is not like investing in a trade market, that early in the morning you invest in a day trade, and in the late evening probably you have earned something because you are a day trader. That was your day. आपने short term में बहुत पैसा कमा लिया. Leadership is not like that. My friend, it requires, the secret of the success is found in our daily agenda for leadership. In your daily agenda, what you do for your leadership, that matters a lot. It's not like a day trading in the share market. It has to be a part of your daily agenda. You see how you are taking care of your priorities, your goals, your passions, your abilities, relationships with other people, attitude, discipline, vision, influence, navigation. All these are the laws of leadership. If you ask me whether leadership is influence, yes, it is influence, but it is not just influence. Whether leadership is passion, yes, it is passion, but it is more than passion. It is about relationships, yes, it is about relationship. Abilities, attitude, communication, priorities, goal management, everything is a part of leadership, and it doesn't happen in one day. see what a person is doing every day, day after day, year after year, you know that the person is and what he is becoming. People say that, wow, in some games or in some fields of life, you become champ within one day. Maybe that you get entry in Indian cricket team, you become a champion, you start to earn a lot of money. But they don't see that how much efforts the person has taken to come till that stage. Shivaji Maharaj could establish his concept of Swaraj in Maharashtra, and at the age of 16, 17, 18, he was at a different level. But what kind of efforts he has taken in that age, day by day, every day, how he has sharpened his ability, passion, vision, relationship, friendships, attitude, personal discipline. We need to understand those efforts behind being a great leader. When I teach at whenever he is taking, the author mentions that whenever he is taking some conferences, leadership conferences, people ask him questions that whether leaders are born. The simple answer is yes, leaders are born, because you cannot be a leader unless you are born. Yes, some people come with natural abilities to lead, but some people, they develop in their lifetime the ability to lead. Most of the people feel that leadership is an event. You go through some nice book on leadership and you start to feel that yes, what a nice book, what a nice concept the author has explained. I will also want to become a leader. It is just an event for you. But leadership is not an event, it is a process. It is a process. Every day you need to contribute, sacrifice to be a leader. When you feel that leadership is an event, it encourages decision that yes, I want to be leader. That inspiration is there. Okay, that motivation is there. But motivation may come down after a particular period of time. But if you follow a particular process, it matures you. It makes you self-disciplined. And that maturity is important. So process, whenever you are following a process, it matures you. When you say that event, leadership is an event, you are talking about some book, you are talking about some leadership seminar, you are talking about some video on leadership. It is just a calendar issue. The event comes, you start to feel motivated, inspired. The event gets over, the inspiration, motivation comes down. Leadership is not a calendar issue, it's a cultural issue. It has to be ingrained here and here. That yes, if I want to achieve my goals, I want to realize my dreams, I need to sacrifice every day. I need to contribute every day. So it changes the people. When you are following the process, it changes the people. When you are following an event, it is just challenging the people. So when you say that leadership is an event, it's very easy. But when you say that leadership is a process, it's very difficult. It's very difficult. When you feel that I need to be inspired to take steps, then you are attending an event. But when you say that I want to improve myself on the path of leadership, then you are engaging in a process. Stick to the process. We are just go through the phases of leadership development, the phases of leadership growth. Irrespective whether every individual is unique, every individual is different. Some people are born with leadership abilities, they possess this naturally, or some people, they develop leadership skill. But generally, the leadership grows in following 5 phases. And the first phase is, I don't know what I don't know. I don't know what I don't know. मुझे पता ही नहीं है कि मुझे क्या पता नहीं है. These are the people, they don't understand the importance of leadership. They feel that leadership is not for me. It is for someone else. It is only for top management people. It is only for managers above me in the hierarchy. It is not for me. It is for someone else. It is definitely not for me. And there are people who don't know the importance of leadership. Okay. But unless the people know what they don't know, they will not grow. अगर आपको पता ही नहीं है कि importance क्या है उसका, then you will never grow. But this is one phase in life where you don't understand the importance of leadership. The second phase is, I know that I need to know. I know that I need to know. Now this is the second phase where there is awakening. Awakening in the sense, suppose you are a manager of a company, you are just fresher. You enter in a company and after 2-3 years you get certain designation. And now you are there in the capacity as a manager to influence people, to be their leader, to manage them, to manage their skills and abilities. But at that time, you start to feel that I need to know the leadership. Now it is very important for me to know it. Earlier, that feeling, that perception, that awakening was not there about importance. But now in the second phase, you start to realize that now I'm having a particular designation, particular level. Now I need to know what to mean by leadership, and I want to be a good leader. To be conscious that you are ignorant of the facts is a great step to knowledge. Okay, when you have a feeling that I need to know this thing because I'm ignorant, because I'm not aware about leadership, is a first stage of development. The third phase in leadership development is I know what I don't know. मुझे पता है कि मुझे क्या पता नहीं है. What I don't know. Now there is an incident which was shared by the author himself of his own experience. When he got at the managerial level, he started to manage a team of people. He was very confident because earlier in his college, he saw that I am handled student development position, student leader position. I was a good team member. I was a captain of a particular sports team. So I can manage my people very well. But when he started as a manager, he found that he's not that great in leadership. And he also realized that if he don't develop his skill as a good leader, his career will bog down. One day he was speaking to Mr. Kurt, who was doing some leadership program, and Kurt asked him very politely that what is your plan for personal growth as a manager? What is your personal plan for growth? Personal growth, not professional growth, but personal growth as a leader. The author fumbled for some time and he was not recollect how to give the answer, and he admitted that I have not made any plan. And Kurt told him, if you have not started, probably this is the right time to start to work on your personal growth. That day, the author and his wife Margaret sat together and they discussed that I haven't planned anything for my personal growth. There is no plan as such. What can I do? I have to make a lot of sacrifices for it, because the leadership programs which are offered by Kurt and other people, they are very expensive and my salary is very less. How to do? Wife said that yes, we need to make certain personal financial sacrifices, and they got some money which was kept for some other reason for this leadership program. Not only that, they broke down rigorously in a disciplined manner that every day I will go through the leadership books, I will go through video cassettes, I will attend the conferences, seminars on leadership. For next several years, they planned their vacation in such a manner that they could visit some influential leader. How? The author jotted down 10 to 12 names of great managers, great leaders in his field, and wanted to meet those leaders. So every year they planned their vacation in such a manner that every year they will meet at least one influential leader in that area. He offered some money that please give me your time, at least 1 hour, 1.5 hours, because I want to discuss with you regarding something leadership. regarding leadership. So please give me your time. They offered some money to the influential leader. That money was a bit high for the author at that time. It was not pretty less amount for the author. He was not really rich at that time. But every year they made it sure that they will visit that place. They will plan their vacation in such a manner that they will visit at least one influential leader in a particular area. And whatever the inputs the author received from those influential great leaders were phenomenal. They were beyond books. And he was working on it for several years, going through videotapes, attending conferences on leadership, seminars on leadership, reading books, meeting leaders, asking them questions every time, consistently. That is the third step, that you should know that what you don't know. आपको क्या पता नहीं है. In third phase, you have to focus on that. कि मुझे क्या पता नहीं है. Phase 4. I know, I grow, and it starts to show. I know what I want, then I starts to grow, and it starts to show. Once you know that, you have to take efforts in a systematic manner to develop leadership. Then you start to grow. Every day you have to be disciplined. Take a smaller step for the development. Read one book. Read some pages at least. Go through videos. Go through audio CDs. Attend seminars, conferences, guest lectures on the leadership. And slowly, you will feel that you are growing. You are growing within. People may not realize it. But once you are there, after 5, 6, 7, 8 years of continuous practice of working on leadership, working on your abilities, working on your relationships with others, working on your communication, slowly you will grow. And one day, people will think about that how he has grown to such great extent. इतना बड़ा कब बन गया? क्योंकि they will see the greatness, but people don't often see the efforts behind those greatness. So that efforts are required, continuous efforts, and continuous means process. You should feel, you should see, you should follow the law of process. Continuous investments of efforts for leadership development. That is phase 4, that I know, I grow, and it starts to show to others. Phase 5 is simply go. Simply go because of what I know. Simply go because what I know. When you are in the 4th phase of leadership, when you are putting a lot of efforts, you start to build instincts. You start to develop your relationship with the people around you. You start to develop on your abilities, on your mind, on your body. So in phase 4, you can be a pretty effective leader, but you have to think about even more you make. However, when you are in phase 5, your abilities will be so high that most of the things will become automatic because of your relationship and because of your ability. I said most of the things will become automatic. You develop insights, you develop instincts, and that is what is important. Whatever efforts you have taken, it will pay off. And again I say, it can only happen, the things can become automatic. आपका खुद काम ऑटोमेटिकली शुरू होने लगता है. ऑटोमेटिकली लोग आपका काम करने लगते हैं. They start to listen to you. But as I said, it's a law of process. You have to invest in that process every day, every moment, every week, every month, every year. To lead tomorrow, learn today. Now, if you want that, you want to be leader tomorrow, you have to start working on yourself from today only. If you feel that time is going to demand your leadership skills tomorrow or whenever it comes, you should be ready. जब आपको पता है कि युद्ध शुरू होने वाला है after some time, then you should be ready with all your weapons. And that preparedness is important in leadership. Now there was a player in basketball, NBA Hall of Fame player Larry Bird. Before going to school, he used to practice 500 shots, 500 shots of a basketball before going to school. In school, the practice was different. After school, the practice was different. Look at the extent of preparation. एक इंडियन क्लासिकल म्यूजिक का देयर इज वन माइस्ट्रो इन इंडियन क्लासिकल म्यूजिक हु यूज्ड टू से दैट जब बच्चे पतंग की ऊंचाइयों में घुमा करते थे मैं सुरों की गहराइयों में डूबा करता था. इट टॉक्स अबाउट प्रिपरेशन. When all the young children were enjoying their life, Sachin was there on the ground every morning. Whatever happens in the world, it was none of his concern. He used to be there on the ground to practice cricket. Till what time? Till today he practices it. So what does it tell? That preparedness is important. You have to prepare yourself for leading tomorrow. But you have to prepare today. Because success doesn't come with the shortcuts. Shortcuts से नहीं आता, जुगाड़ से नहीं आता. Success is not a destination. It itself is a process. Success is not destination. It's a process. The author maintains a quote that champions do not become champions in the ring. Champions do not become champions in the ring. They only get recognition that you are a champ in the ring. They become champions in their practice sessions also. And if that champion do not practice in the dark, he will get exposed in the daylight that he is no more a champion. So after being a champion also, you have to take efforts on it. And this boxing kind of thing is an analogy to leadership development because of daily preparation. Even a person with a natural leadership has to prepare and train to become successful. Even the best person. There is no shortcut for leadership. We know that great Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, he was having incredible leadership skills. But whether he developed those skills within one day, at the age of 14, 15, 16, when other children generally they enjoy playing with their co-age people, this person was visualizing Swarajya, and he was sharpening his ability. He was building friends for his vision. He could share vision with other people. It's not a one-day procedure. Continuously for years he was working there, and after some years he got Swarajya. It's not jugaad. It's not shortcut. He continuously worked on relationships, certain principles, certain values, his vision, democratic abilities, all that thing he worked for several years, and then he could create his own Swarajya, his idea of Swarajya. It doesn't happen in one day. Continuous efforts, continuous investment, I am saying continuous investments are required. That is law of process. Sachin doesn't become Sachin within one day. He has taken untiring effort, learning ability, adaptation, continuously efforts, all those things every day, day after day, month after month, year after years. He practiced. And that's why he became one of the greatest legends in the cricket. Again I will say, success के लिए कोई shortcut नहीं है. Success you can get only because of continuous efforts to become good leaders. Because leadership is not just influence, it is something more. Leadership is not just abilities, it is something more. Leadership is not just communication, it is something more. Leadership is not just innovation, it is something more. And this something more doesn't happen within one day. It requires a lot of efforts. Now if I give a task कि आज आप leader हो and ask your people, ask friends around you to sacrifice their life for your vision, can you do it? Simply I say, you cannot do it, I cannot do it, but Shivaji Maharaj could do it. For him people were ready to sacrifice their lives. Why? Because he ingrained his vision among his followers, and that ingraining is not a short process. It requires continuous efforts that people like Tanaji or Bajirao Deshpande, Baji Prabhu Deshpande, continuously there was pool of talent, pool of good people around him who were ready to sacrifice for him. Immense leadership abilities, and these ability doesn't get developed within a day. It requires efforts, and that is law of process. Now author has shared one more example of Roosevelt. He was president of US and he was a boxer himself. He was called as the man of action. He was effective leader and he was one of the most flamboyant president. Okay, he is remembered as one of the most outspoken man of action. And in his White House, there were continuous sessions about boxing, taekwondo, karate, hiking, horse riding, long hikes, challenging sessions. So all kind of activities. The person was really very, very outspoken, full of energy, full of vigor. He was full of vigor. He was full of energy. He was campaigning for one of the person for presidential election, President McKinley. And for that presidential elections, he gave around 673 speeches and he traveled more than 20,000 kilometers. And he was going to give one speech in a particular city. But he was shot by one person and there was a bullet in his rib. But he went for that meeting, he went for that speech. He gave a speech of around 1.5 hours with a broken rib, with a bullet in his chest. He delivered for almost 90 minutes and then he was taken to the hospital. You can just see the kind of energy, the kind of personality Roosevelt was having. But this was not so easy for him. Because when he was born, he was very weak. Very thin, less energy. The parents were thinking that this child will not survive. He was so weak, he was so thin. He was limited by his physical abilities and he was having poor eyesight, thin. But when he was 12 years old, his father told him that your mind is very strong, but your body is very weak. And to run your mind, to implement your ideas, you need to have a strong body. Otherwise, it will be difficult life for you. And from that day, he started to work on his mind and on his body continuously till his graduation. Till his graduation, he became almost normal. But he started to work continuously to work on his mind and body, which was not very easy for him. As I said, he was so thin that his parents were thinking that he will not survive. From that step to a good boxer, don't you think it's full of efforts, the journey full of efforts? And he was always having that mindset that I want to become a person who can put forth his thoughts in the world, even if the world is against him. So I can create my thoughts and I can put forth my thoughts, present my thoughts in front of the world, even if no one agrees or disagrees. It's a different thing, but I want to be a bold person. That was the thing. And he won the presidential election. People were thinking that, oh, he has been a president of US just by chance, just by luck. He said that, no, I'll fight one more time and I will win. So again he fought the election for second time and he won the election. That is incredible. Roosevelt's list of accomplishment is remarkable. Under his leadership, US emerged as world power. He helped the country in developing first-class navy. He was instrumental in dialogues between Russia and Japan, for which he won the Nobel Award. His accomplishments are immense, but so are his efforts for the leadership, because I said it doesn't happen in one day. And when he died in the night. He died in the night when he was sleeping. The vice president of US at that time, he said that the death has to come to Roosevelt when he was sleeping. If he was awake, then death probably needed to fight with Roosevelt to take his life. He was such a great person. He was such with great energy, vigor, fighting spirit, a great leader, influential president for US. And I said, so many accomplishment, great leadership skills, that doesn't develop in one day. Continuous efforts are required. And that is what the most difficult thing is, that we realize that leadership is important, but we don't work on it every day. It doesn't become a daily agenda of ours. It is just an event. It is not a process for us. So if we want to be a good leader, it should be there on our daily agenda. It should be part of process of your daily life. How every day can build upon the success of yesterday. When Mr. Roosevelt, president, died, they found a book under his pillow. What does it show? That the man was believing till the end of life, we need to learn. We need to learn new things in life. Learning cannot be stopped. You have seen in the movie Bhagat Singh that when Britishers were taking Bhagat Singh for hanging him, Bhagat Singh was reading a book and he told that, yes, let me complete this one page and then I will come with you. Now when you are aware that you are going to die after some time, still Bhagat Singh said that I want to read this page. What does it tell us? That learning is continued till the end of life. It's a continuous process till the last breath of a person.